I started this gangster shit. Mr. Mother, thanks I get. Hello. I started this gangster shit. And Mr. Mother, thanks I get. Hello.
Well, this is gigantic news, everyone. Marvel Comics has settled with the Ditko estate, which makes Miles Morales obsolete all of a sudden. What do we need Miles Morales for? Big news coming out of the Hollywood Reporter. Before we get to it, would you mind hitting like, sharing this video? Of course, when the video's over and you've seen it, please do leave a comment. And also consider subscribing to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. That's this channel right here. Marvel Comics settles fight over Spider-Man Doctor Strange rights. The estate of Steve Ditko, who created the characters, have reached a deal and ended the last of 5 battles over copyright termination efforts. This is correct. The Ditko estate, Steve Ditko in his life, was never all that concerned about protecting his stake in Spider-Man. It's not like he went around with a t-shirt that says, "I created Spider-Man." He was kind of a little bit of a recluse. Somebody who was, I don't know, unhappy with the way he'd been treated. He felt like Stan Lee got all the credit for creating Spider-Man, and he, the guy who designed the costume and he made a little cartoon that kind of pointed out that he did most of the creative work in creating Spider-Man, and Stan Lee just came up with the name. So some kind of just unhappiness left Steve Ditko to sort of spend his life not really pursuing any kind of rights or claim over Spider-Man. But when he passed on, his estate certainly is going after Marvel for it, and rightly so. They really should. There's something called the Copyright Act of 1976, which basically grants that there's a duration of copyright protection at 28 years with a possibility of a 28-year extension for a total maximum of 56 years. So Marvel Comics could essentially hang on to Spider-Man and Doctor Strange for that 56 years. Well, 1963, that would make it 2019. All right, so 2019, the Ditko estate had every right to go and pursue copyright termination over Spider-Man and also Doctor Strange. And they did. They did do that. So essentially, this brings up this whole other weird thing. The Superman estate did the same thing, or the Siegel estate did the same exact thing to DC Comics back in 2010, 2011. Chased down Warner Brothers and DC to retain and regain some of the copyrights over Superman, their family legacy. The Siegel, Jerry Siegel, of course, famously hated DC Comics, which was called National Publications back then, for the way that they took Superman, left him out in the lurch. He claimed that he was impoverished and they wouldn't even give him any money even after Superman became a TV show in the 1950s. No money for him. So essentially, the estate went after DC Comics and won. For a second, they actually won. They won some of the copyright back, which led to DC having to create something called the New 52, in which Superman was wearing jeans now and a T-shirt rather than didn't have his spit curl anymore. They were losing little aspects, little copyrighted aspects of Superman. It was amazing. And when Marvel Comics saw this back in 2010, they realized that in 2019, just 8 or 9 years later, they would be facing the Ditko estate, which was also apparently unhappy with them, and they might lose their prize pig, Spider-Man. What are they going to do without Spider-Man? So they created Miles Morales, who bears no resemblance to anything that's in Amazing Fantasy number 15, a version of Spider-Man which they could maintain and control even if Steve Ditko and the Ditko estate won back Peter Parker and everything that appeared in Amazing Fantasy number 15. So they have been in this struggle. They've been promoting. I think they felt like they were going to lose because they've been promoting Miles Morales. They've been like kind of sublimating a little bit Peter Parker. Oh, he's fat, he's old, he's a loser, he's a has-been. Miles Morales is the future of Spider-Man. They were doing that very deliberately because I think they felt like they were going to lose this lawsuit. The Ditko estate was very dogged about trying to win it. Hollywood Reporter says it looks like Marvel won't be bringing its battle over the rights to Spider-Man and Doctor Strange into the new year. Attorneys for the company and the estate of Steve Ditko on Wednesday notified the court that they've reached an amicable settlement. Oh my God, Steve Ditko's got to be rolling around it now. I'm sure he's happy with this amicable settlement. I'm sure he wants his family to do well off of his hard work. Expect a stipulation of dismissal with prejudice to be filed in the coming weeks. That's great. This all started back in 2021 when Marvel filed a series of lawsuits in response to copyright termination notices from all these guys: Larry Lieber, Gene Colan, Steve Ditko, Don Heck, and Don Rico. 56 years later, after the birth of Marvel Comics and all of the characters that they created. Look at this: Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, Thor, Hulk. All of these copyrights were coming up for debate again. And so all these creators got to sue Marvel Comics. In June, all but one of the matters was settled, and of course that was Steve Ditko and his family. Last remaining dispute was with the heirs of Steve Ditko, who created Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. According to that termination notice, the estate wanted to reclaim rights from comics including Amazing Fantasy. That's right, this is the big one, Amazing Fantasy 15. That's got Spider-Man's first appearance, and it's got Aunt May, it's got basically Uncle Ben, it's got all the characters. I think Flash Thompson's in there. And Strange Tales, that would be Doctor Strange's first appearance in 1963. In addition to the art and stories themselves, the termination notices also targeted any character, story element, or indicia reasonably associated with the works. So that is why Miles Morales is Miles Morales and not Spider-Man. When you buy a Miles Morales toy or an action figure, this has been something that is hotly debated amongst this community. Like, how come whenever they do a Miles Morales anything, it doesn't say Spider-Man, it just says Miles Morales? Folks, that's why, okay? They were protecting themselves up until this moment. Now, you're either going to see Miles Morales become less prevalent at Marvel Comics. I kind of doubt that's going to be the scenario. Or you're going to see Miles Morales officially being called Spider-Man quite a lot more, because there's no more debate. Okay, everything's good. And these are the lawyers. All right, so this is interesting. Again, one of the things about this whole situation it's kind of given birth a little bit to this virtue signaling kind of we're about inclusion and diversity. No, you're not. You're about protecting your asses, Marvel, and your assets. And that's all this was. Creating Miles Morales was just a way to sort of say, hey, we're being noble as we try to screw over the Ditko family. We have a new version of Spider-Man. We don't have to. If they win Spider-Man back, Peter Parker, so what? We're still going to do Spider-Man, and we're not going to pay anyone any royalties off of this character, which is, again, why all of these diverse versions of superheroes continue to proliferate. As the Copyright Act of 1976 rears its ugly head towards these big, gigantic corporations, and more creators and their estates are seeking to terminate copyrights of their long-standing, hugely popular, and enormously financially successful creations, Marvel and DC are responding by creating bootleg, fake versions of these characters that, have no aspects of their character could possibly be claimed by these copyrights. And they're saying, oh, it's because of diversity. We have a non-binary Flash. We've got a Brazilian Wonder Woman. We've got a gay Superman. We've got, a black Batman. We've got all these things in the margins just waiting in case we lose any of the copyrights for any of these characters. So that's what all of this really is all about. It's never about, it is about virtue signaling. That's the dishonest bonus aspect of all of this. But it's also about just protecting business. Of course, it always is. Okay, it's very rarely actually about politics. The politics are just a convenient excuse. Let me know what you think about this. Are you excited for the Ditko family? I am. I hope they got a big fat paycheck over this. I wish Steve Ditko had lived to enjoy some of the money, but I'm glad that his heirs will. And I'm also glad to see that, Marvel Comics is going to get to keep publishing Spider-Man, and I hope they bring back Peter Parker and stop making him such a fat schlub. Leave me comments in the below, and please check out all of our links. Go back Cyberfrog Red Extermination if you wouldn't mind. Oh, that would be so cool if you did. Cyberfrog 3 Red Extermination live on Indiegogo right now. You can check out our eBay store and pick up all of the new Cyberfrog books and Comicsgate merch as well. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you again soon with another video. Take care.